Well, today we are rebuilding the North Melbourne AFL women's team. Just kidding. North Melbourne's women's team have not lost a game in 2 years. So they're all covered. Anyways, let's send their men's team back into shape. The women's have been playing great footy over the years. Will it be time for the men to get it done? Well, Bergman, Tucker, and Ford are all delisted by the Kangaroos. The Kangaroos, they've got the old shinbiners. They've won 2 premierships in the 70s under Ron Barassi. 2 premierships in the 90s under Dennis Pagan. Will this be the start of Clarko's heroes? Can Alistair Clarkson get North Melbourne their first premiership in 27 years and in over 25 years for the men? Will he coach like his old Hawthorn self once again? Well, to start off with we give 2021 Premiership player Charlie Spargo an 8-year deal. Well, I can be able to do that, Riley. I can be able to help. Can be able to bring Tex Walker to North Melbourne to be a mentor for their young forwards like Gersma and also Larkey. I can also bring Tex in to be like a mentor for maybe Jack Whitlock if we bring him in from Port Adelaide. Now the trade period's officially open. Well, there have been rumours that Tex Walker would be playing his last year in real life. Well, we signed him up as a free agent. Welcome to North Melbourne for 1 or 2 seasons, Tex Walker. Well, will Texan be able to cop the Clarko spray? Since we now got Tex, well, it turns out we certainly don't need Jack Darling. We'll send him, Callan Coleman-Jones. He's been a bit useless in the ruck. Before we do this deal with Port, let's do a deal with the Crows. We sent Finbar mainly to Adelaide as a Tex Walker replacement for pick 78. And the Crows got the deal done with North Melbourne. Well, maybe we could send Brent Teakle back to Alberton. Well, maybe not. He'll probably go back to East Fremantle anyway. How about Griffin Logue? Well, how about Aidan Core? He's been pretty useless. And also Griffin Logue. We're sending him off to Port for 2 first-round picks. Plus Jack Whitlock. As we got his brother Matt as we got his twin brother at the club. Can be able to give that a try. I could be able to try to bring Worrell back to Victoria, or if not, I could try to bring Leaker over to the Kangaroos from Central District. Unless the Crows get him. Well, what do we say? Well, the Whitlock boys are reunited. This will make things a lot easier for Mrs. Whitlock. seeing her two boys play for their boyhood, play for North Melbourne. Who else do we do a trade with? There was a rumour in real life that Lee Collier was going to go to the Kangaroos as well. As they nearly got that deal done with the Giants. North nearly got this deal done with GWS earlier in the year to bring Lee Collier to Arden Street. Even though the Saints tried to acquire him at the same time. Can do. And it looks like Lee Collier is about to revive his career at the Kangaroos. Sent a few useless players to the power. Anyways, we also got to deal with the West Coast Eagles on the table. Who do we send to West Coast? To bring in Harley Reid. I'm thinking maybe Zach Fisher. We don't really need him anymore. You know, he's been a bit useless this season. Thinking about it. Also, I reckon. Don't quote me. I think. Maybe and 2 first-round picks. So we can bring Harley Reid to the Kangaroos. I still remember the Kangaroos nearly got him a few years ago in the draft. And we're finally getting him in AFL 26. No, all it took was trading Zach Fisher to the Eagles to get this deal done, sending it back to Perth. In return, Harley Reid's gone back to Melbourne, playing alongside his brother-in-law, Zane Dersma. We're certainly not trading away Goda, as he's basically part of our future plans for the back line. How about Zach Banch? And so Geelong declined the offer to send this young Levi Nemi to the Kangaroos. Braden George. 3 years on the list, 0 AFL games. One of the most unluckiest players to play on a North Melbourne Guernsey. Should I keep him at the Kangaroos, or is it time to let him go? And that gives Carlton another small. That will give Carlton another small forward to work with. Well, since the Blues will get Braden George, we'll send picks 10 and 19 to the Kangaroos, along with Tom Powell. The bloke's basically maxed out his potential. In return, I can be able to do that in the current, well, maybe next off-season, Riley, if Roos don't win a premiership. In return for the player with North are about to get in return is the bloke they nearly drafted nearly 5 years ago, Josh Rochelle. That is an upgrade over Braden George. Speaking of recruits, well, so I remembered in real life we nearly traded Jai Sebkin to Collingwood. And yet, after that, he got dropped from the captaincy. We're sending Luke Urquhart. I reckon so. I reckon the Kangaroos are looking ready to make their first final series in 10 years. Luke Urquhart. What else do we send? Well, we'll send Barney Scott back to the Gold Coast Suns. He's originally part of their academy. And maybe future first-round pick to bring Ben King. Well, I've done this in so many career modes. Just like I did in my Saints rebuild, I'm also going to be bringing Matty Rowell and Noah Anderson to the Kangaroos. As this could help the North Melbourne Football Club make their first final series in what feels like forever. And who else do I bring to the Kangaroos to play under Clarko? I'm thinking maybe Joel Jeffrey. If he could be half the player his dad Russell used to be, then we have a very good player at the Kangaroos. Well, what an off-season did it turn out to be for the Kangaroos. But, no, we're not trading Robert Hansen to the Tigers. The Dacos brothers would be coming in 2027 when, if things don't work out for us, and when Luke Parker retires. Our next pick is 22. We're getting Lockie Doverston at 22. At 34. We're getting the bloke who played in the grand final for Sturt, Blake Fredgold. Could North Melbourne's women's team pick up his sister on Monday night's AFL women's draft? We're also going to get Hugo Mukunda to come to North Melbourne. We'll give Fredgold a number 1, Guernsey. Doverston becomes the new number 1 for North. Ed King becomes a new. Let's check the Guernsey numbers from that 1996 grand final team. As a punishment, we're relegating Simpkin back to 21, his original number. Will Dawson has agreed to sacrifice 18 to wear number. I think he wears number 4. Jackson Archer, who will now wear 11, the number his dad used to wear. Matt Whitlock will now wear 23. So his brother Jack can wear 35. Well, I've decided to give Charlie Spargo number 14. So the Texan can wear 13 for North Melbourne. Harley Reid will now wear 34. Retiring the number 12 Guernsey at North Melbourne to allow for when we recruit Nick Blakey. Zach Vance will now get the 23 Guernsey at the Kangaroos. Oh no, what the f I done? I should have gave Cooper Harvey the 29 Guernsey. His dad Boomer made a career out of wearing that number. It certainly is. I reckon it's time to rise, but it's a time to rise. 2026. Well, I reckon 2026 is the year we see North Melbourne at least back in the finals for the first time in a decade. Well, we managed to beat those leftovers who went to Port Adelaide. The Kangaroos have finished in the top 4. What a way to announce yourself back in the finals with a top 4 finish for the first time since when was the last time North Melbourne finished top 4? It was 2007. Well, we got our revenge on Geelong after that 106-point loss. They handed us all the way back in 2007. And a bit of payback for them taking Cameron Mooney in the 1999 trade period, which gave us Lee Colbert. Revenge at last for the Kangaroos. Matty Rowell won his second straight Brownlow medal. This time in a new club. What a Tex Warp. How many did... Well... I think Tex had a pretty good year for the Kangas himself. Let's see who we got rid of. Well, look, the 2 Lukes have retired. Hardeman and Banch are delisted. I reckon we'll redraft Riley Hardeman in the rookie list. Let's draft. Trade period's officially open. Let's do a deal with Sydney. We'll give them a few future picks. Plus... we'll send Dylan Stevens back to the Swans. As well as Cooper Trembath. In return for the son of an old shinboner who was a part of our 1996 and 1999 premiership squads. The father's name is John Blakey, and the son I'm mentioning is, well, his lad Nick Blakey. The one the Swans stole from North Melbourne's noses all those years ago. And now he's come home. Back to Melbourne, back to his hometown, and back to his place of birth. Looks like Archer can re-sign. He plays just like his father, Glenn. From back in the day. Gocha's accepting a new deal. We promote Robert Hansen to the senior list. Remember those Ashcroft boys? They were best mates with Harry Sheasel. Back in their Sandringham Dragons days. A way to help get this deal done, to bring the Ashcroft boys To North Melbourne, we'll give Brisbane Jacob Constantine and it can be arranged. I could be able to bring Jordan Dawson to the Kangaroos to reunite him with his brother Will. Good to help with Dawson's development and us getting Blakey. We sent Robert Hanson Jr. to the Lions to get the Ashcross through the door, and we also got Nick Blakey. The Roos need a bit more ruck cover for with Sherry at the club. The Kangaroos need a bit more ruck cover. As we are making a play for Kieran Briggs. As Flagro 2027 might be basically Flagro's. Look at all these pieces we've actually got in the team. We'll promote Bakunda to the senior list as well. That means we don't have a spot on the rookie list now, as we've just promoted a few and delisted a few. Wow, what an off season that. What a rise. From third last in 2025 to prelim final in 2026. Can the Kangaroos go one? I reckon the Roos will have the potential to go one better with this young core they have built up over the years. We need a redraft Hardiman. And so we bring him back. Welcome back to North Melbourne, Riley Hardiman. Can we pick some? See who can get from our VFL program. Well, we actually draft Ollie Houghton. He's been a part of the Roos VFL program for a while. And Ashcroft boys are there as well. Who else can we get from the VFL? Looking around to see any more good players in the VFL that we can draft. Unfortunately, 2027 is not the year. I reckon the one that could replace Tex Walker could be Aaron Capman from the Giants. For real this time, let's give Harvey the 29 Guernsey. We're giving Noah Anderson number 26. Nick Blakey brings the number 12 Guernsey out of retirement. Briggs will now wear 31 for the Kangaroos. The number made famous by Corey McKernan. This could be looking like 1999 all over again. Or 1996 all over again. As North Melt. 4-1, 4-2, 4-3. Well, we're 6 on the ladder. Dealing with a few injuries ourselves. We head to the mid-year draft. We bring Matthias Philipp out to Arden Street. The former Woodville West Torrens and St Kilda man. Second pick. Could Sam Butler be the... Could picking Sam Butler probably be the play? He was barely getting game time at Hawthorn. Except for the finals when he played well against my Crows. We also get Sam Sturt and Kay Chandler coming through the ranks. The reason why we must have had all these mid-season draft picks due to the amount of injuries we had at the wrong time of the year. We're going to need some of our injured players to return mid-season so we can get back to winning ways. Well, we're 4th on the ladder. Not bad. And we beat Melbourne at the MCG for the first time in a while. Well, making the finals from being in elimination for... Could we make the grand final from 5th? That's a bit of a scary proposition right there for the Kangaroos. Blakey's back. Blakey comes into the side. We gotta get the man, the myth, the legend, Tristan Sherry back in the side. As Sherry can play his role well for the Kangaroos. Well, Texas retired. That was one of the reasons why we kind of fell off a bit. Was the retirement of our star player. Sorry, River Stevens. We have to admit you to bring Rao back in the side. Just like in 1996, we kicked the Swabs out of the finals. But as a premiership winning side, semi-final, we've got Essendon. The one-time Battle of the Marshmallows. As I remember one of the last times the two sides versed each other in the... He has Texas retired to go back to Broken Hill to play for his boyhood club. Semi-final. Oh, look at that. Just like in 2014 and just like in 1998, we knock out Essendon. Can this be just like 2007 when the Kangaroos knocked Hawthorn out of the finals? That's the team we got. That's the team we'll be versing next. In the prelim is Hawthorn. Will it be time for Robo to say goodbye to Hockball? Honestly, though, why change this team? If it ain't broken, don't fix it. The Kangaroos. Well, Hockball, goodbye. Robo are in the grand final for the first time since 1999. The women's team, well, they're probably going for their fourth premiership of the right at this stage. Well, could this North Melbourne squad be the first AFL team to do the double? Win the men's and the women's premiership in the same year. The Crows couldn't do it in 2017. The Brisbane Lions couldn't do it in 2023 or 24 or 25. Melbourne could not do it in 2022 or 2021. The Western Bulldogs certainly could not do it in 2018. As the Kangaroos are set to become could become the first club to achieve greatness. Well, our women's team are doing well as well. Well, nothing stopped. Well, how many have I wanted to roll at this stage? In this time, is it? I think they probably won about 47 in a row. Closing it on 50. Well, this is North Melbourne's era now, and we're living it. As we've got the rematch of the 1998 grand final coming up against the Crows. Certainly is, Riley. 1998 grand final reunion. Will the Kangaroos recover from that from the trauma they went through all those years ago when Adelaide got the chocolates on grand final day back in 1998. Will this be the first Kangaroo side? Will this be the first North Melbourne Mad side since 1999 to achieve? Same here, Riley. I reckon in this rebuild, I reckon the Kangaroos will take it out, unlike 1998. Look at the team we just built. Let's change the quarters to 5 minutes. We'll give North Melbourne the old away, Guernsey. Here we go. Will revenge be on the cards for the Kangaroos? After 28 years.
Hello everyone, I'm Anthony Hudson. Welcome to Saturday afternoon football. We're live from the MCG. This is the Toyota AFL Grand Final between Adelaide and North Melbourne. It's the best of the best. Winner takes all. A season full of twists and turns comes to its conclusion. Who will be crowned Premier today? The skipper leads his team out onto the field. Daniel Harford is with me. Hello, Harf. What can we expect from this match?
G'day, hello. I like the Crows. They've been the best side all year, and I think they'll have enough in reserve. That said, I wouldn't be surprised to see this one in the balance late.
Thanks for those thoughts, Harf. As the teams huddle, the two captains shake hands for the toss of the coin.
Well, State's playing out the same way, just like in 1998. One team's at fifth and they won the premiership that year. The other won the minor premiership and lost.
North Melbourne's had a game clear on top of the ladder when they met Adelaide at Football Park in round 8 1993. The Crows sitting outside the top 6 on percentage. What unfolded was one of the games of the season, perhaps best remembered for Tony Modger's soaring mark of the year in the goal square. The Crows were 29 points down at one stage in the final term before coming home like a freight train. Modger's 9th goal putting them within 4 points and his 10th kicking them 8 points clear. The Crows held on for a 2-point win en route to their first ever finals appearance. The atmosphere is electric, the adrenaline is pumping. There's nowhere you'd rather be. Briggs wins the first tap. It's not a fair fight. Great tackling technique there. O'Brien with the tap. Reed. Ashcroft has a vice-like grip.
It didn't take them long to win the ball out of the centre and set up what should be the game's first goal.
It's a deep kick. Who's front and centre? Gets it to safety.
They've got an opportunity here to get the ball down the other end quickly.
Laird to bring it in. Good work rate. Takes the safe option. Worrell makes position. Doesn't often waste it. Keane working hard and being rewarded. Millerer. Neat little stab kick. Fogarty can keep it moving. They've opened them up here. That's skillful. Crouch. He's caught. The fans will be happy to see this. No way through there and they'll reset. Briggs with a deft tap. Crunching tackle. We will do it all again. The two big men do battle. O'Sullivan. Ashcroft in the centre square. They'll bide their time. Quality delivery by foot. Larkey has found some space. Inside 50 with the kick. Rochelle got to the right position and hung on.
Normally a reliable kick. Can he make this one count?
Goes at goal, and that is an opportunity gone begging.
Did all the hard work only to let himself down with a kick.
Back into play. Ryan. Takes them on. The Crows might be about to start something. They're moving the footy well here. That's a useful ball. He's hit up the lead. Archer, Gary Ablett Sr., eat your heart out. It's amounted to nothing. Goes long. Hilthorpe, strong grab. Neat little worm burner. Brown has it within range.
He'd kick this more often than not.
He fancies his chances, but he hasn't managed to bend that one back far enough.
They'll need to clamp down on him. He'll torch him if they keep giving him that sort of space.
Simpkin with the footy. Thilthorpe. He can make them pay royally.
They should already have put the first on the board, but no harm done if this goes through.
It's not a tight angle, but he goes with a check side and threads it.
He had the opportunity to put them in front. That's exactly what he's done. Lovely finish.
The Crows with the first goal. The big men fly. O'Sullivan, Anderson, Reed drives it inside the forward 50. Lucky outbodied his opponent and took a ripper.
To put them back in front.
This would give them the lead. Has he got it? No, that's an opportunity gone to waste.
If they lose this match, bad kicking at goal will be the #1 reason.
Well, this is a bad start to the first quarter.
Works hard to present.
Just looking like the second quarter of the 1998 Grand Final.
Neil Bullen with a chance
When North
to relieve the
Melbourne
pressure. Fogarty
kicked
receives
2
a
goals
clever
12
hand pass.
that quarter.
Ashcroft only knows one way. Rochelle, he's
Kicking
gone.
6-15.
Anderson, boot to ball.
It's a goal.
I feel better now they're in front and getting some reward on the scoreboard.
The Roos have opened their account. O'Brien wins it. Crouch. Clever kick. Neil Bullen has a way of drawing the footy.
Are we going to see lead change #4?
He gives it a roost. No problem with the distance, but it's wide.
I think he was within his rights to have a crack from there, even though he'll be disappointed with the result.
Jeffrey to bring it back in. Pink pushes into space and receives the footy. Holds it up, waiting for an option to present. That's a good option, and this looks promising. Probing ball. Well played. Searching kick. Ashcroft on a lead. They've got them on the overlap. Sherry drops into the hole and marks.
Already some good signs for them with how they're trying to move the football.
You wouldn't expect him to have any trouble from there, and he doesn't.
If they can get up ahead of steam, they'll be hard to stop. That was a terrific passage of play, culminating in a great goal.
The Roos were underdogs coming in, but they look anything but in the early going. O'Brien palms it down. Crouch. Aaliyah tries to spike it out of the danger zone. Blakey. McKercher had his name written all over it. What can they generate? Rochelle has got loose. He was optimistic if he thought he could break that tackle. The two big men do battle. Saligo, Peatling. Blasts away. Blakey doing what he does best. And out it goes.
If one side can get on top in the clearances here, it'll go a long way towards deciding this match.
Good ruck work. Saligo under pressure. Jeffrey gets back and should repel. Miller went bang. Simpkin, Anderson. He's made a bright start. The kick is precise. What's he got on offer? Lowers the eyes. The Roos having a great patch. Pink, they're on point so far. Ryan with the big fist. Archer, stripped of it. Looking to hit up the short option. Rochelle, that's good work rate. Penetrating ball. Worrell wins the contest and can relieve the pressure. Can he find a teammate? Murray working hard and presenting well. Quarter time and a chance for the coaches to address their players and maybe even tweak the game plan. Gary's with us again. What's on your mind, Gaz?
There's not a lot to separate the teams, either on the scoreboard or on the stat sheet. disposals, clearances and inside 50s are all fairly even. If the match continues like this, it'll be engrossing, but I can't help but feel that someone will break it open at some point. I'm just not sure who.
Good on you, Gary. Thank you. Briggs wins it out of the centre. Reed, O'Sullivan. That was almost handed to him. Rankin, this is promising. Vital contest coming up. Punched away. Brown, he's put it through.
You're limited as a defender when the ball gets swept forward like that. Sometimes there's just not much you can do.
The Crows hitting the scoreboard early after an underwhelming first quarter. Briggs has got on top. Rankin does the roving. Edwards, good thinking and good execution too. O'Brien. Brown has taken a terrific mark.
Goals have been tough to come by. Got to make the most of your opportunities.
No trouble at all.
They moved that ball beautifully indeed. They're hard to defend at their skillful best.
This is a pulsating grand final. Hope you're loving it at home. O'Brien with a deft tap. Crouch. Saligo. That's a bit of a waste. Ashcroft all alone in the centre square. Going for territory. Worrell. Spoils. Anderson. Sheasel. It's on the way. Good looking kick. He's dogged it.
It's always good for the confidence to see that first shot go straight through.
It's a good old-fashioned arm wrestle. O'Brien wins the hit out. Crouch leading from the front. Rankin, Blakey. Doesn't often waste it. Thumped away. Reed has eyes only for the footy. Sherry, he'll kick this. In he goes. And he has delivered.
2 scoring shots, 2 goals. He'll be happy with that.
So the underdogs throwing down the gauntlet. You can see their belief growing. O'Brien wins it. Crouch. Solid tackle. Edwards. Rankin. A bit of a panicked handball. He's suddenly a popular man. And we will do it all again. Briggs has probably got the points at this stage. O'Sullivan. If he thought he was getting away, he was sadly mistaken. That's a great tackle, and it's been rewarded.
Not enough talk out there, it seems. Neither side's been able to establish any dominance so far. This is a good game of footy.
Gives it a ride, but it'll pull up short. Brown in the goal square takes a beauty.
To finish off the good work.
He pops through his third.
You have to show him more respect than that, or he'll hurt you on the scoreboard.
Both sides are cracking in hard at the present time. It's a great contest. Briggs smashes it out of there. Reed runs onto it and can drive them into attack. Sherry, he's cocked one high. What's he got on offer? Goes long. O'Sullivan can run into an open goal.
This would give them some breathing space.
O'Sullivan has his first.
That was a bit too easy. The ball movement was excellent, but not great pressure.
It certainly is, Riley. The Kangaroos are actually looking really good.
Right up to their more fancied opponents. O'Brien got his palm to it. Crouch. He'll be annoyed by that. O'Sullivan in the right spot. Briggs. Jeffrey. Two in a row.
I reckon the 99 player you might get is, thinking maybe
There's
prime
something
Tony
happening and put it
Lockett.
away. Makes a real difference if you can consistently take those kinds of opportunities.
I reckon Plugger would be a really good fit for that team.
Briggs showing his skills. O'Sullivan. Anderson. Good disciplined defence. Sherry. Sheasel. Bends it around the body. That's on target. Through it goes.
The Crows are right.
Definitely, he was one of the best goal kickers I've ever seen in the AFL/VFL.
The Roos clearly didn't read the script.
He can kick 100 goal seasons for breakfast, lunch, and
The big
dinner.
men fly. It's no place for the faint-hearted. They might be a little unlucky not to be rewarded. It was a fine tackle. Briggs with a deft tap. O'Sullivan. Reed. He's wrapped up.
The Crows
Probably.
are hanging in there, but they probably need the next goal, really.
Briggs got his
Yeah, he was. He was a bit of a dirty player back in the day. He can always hit you.
Ashcroft sends him
He used
inside
to
50 again.
use the fist a lot to get the
Leading by
ball.
example. Tidy ball. Briggs clears the area. O'Sullivan. Who
And he can
run under
also,
this and
well,
pump it forward. It's a tough game. He's drawn
he can also clean people up. I remember what he did to Caven in 1994.
Briggs showing his skills. Edwards spills out in the tackle.
Yeah.
Kicks to space. Anderson, he'll feel that one. They're looking
I remember in
good.
1999 he broke Coventry's record of 1,300 or 1,299 goals.
That's great
He kicked
footy.
This is what he gets
1,300.
paid to do, kick these goals.
Looks good off the boot. He's got it.
There wasn't much in it at quarter time, but they've really put the foot down and they'll be hard to catch.
The Crows really need to respond.
Certainly was. Lockett used to have a lot of one-on-ones with McKenna, while Carey used to have a lot of one-on-ones with Glenn Jakovic back in the day.
Briggs slaps it out.
But
Reed,
Glenn Jakovic,
attracted a crowd.
however, Glenn Jakovic won a lot of the
The
contests
Crows need to come hard
against
pretty soon.
against
It's a danger
Carey.
getting away from him here.
Dawson, can he impose himself on the match? Blakey makes good contact. McKercher, got to get it forward now. Gee, they're playing well. Picking their way through. Sherry in some space on the wing. You can see their confidence growing. Sheasel has it within range.
Straight in front, should not miss.
He certainly was. I reckon Sumic would be a really good 99 rated player for the team.
Put together an excellent quarter of footy and turned a small lead into what might be a match-winning one.
The Roos seemingly on top all over the ground at the moment. O'Brien slaps it out.
Yeah.
Edwards read it well.
92 and 94 have been great years for the Eagles. So was
Kenny hit a
2006.
target. Quality delivery by foot. The Roos
2006 when Cousins, Judd and Kerr was and Dean Cox was an amazing era. So was 2018.
Time to turn on the Jets.
I've done a West Coast rebuild earlier and they won a premiership in 2029.
The Roos managed to turn a narrow quarter-time lead into a substantial one at half-time, and they are looking the goods. Now for some analysis from Gary Lyon.
The Roos are winning a lot of the major indicators. Hit-outs, clearances, inside 50s, contested possessions. They're not quite doing as they please, but they'd have to take the foot off the pedal for their opponents to get back into this match.
We'll see how it plays out. Thanks, Gary.
That seems like that is a good pickup. An ultimate team, on pro team, Bontempelli for free.
Rucks go at it. Reed reads the tap well. Rochelle marks it centre half forward. Anderson can make it much harder for them here, and that's what he's done.
I think we might just have our premier.
Early indications
That is
are that
that is a crazy team. I reckon your
it
pro
out.
team's looking like a bit
Edwards
one team.
keeps it low. In no man's land. Simpkin. Thilthorpe didn't need to be asked twice. He's got the skill. He's got the
99 rated Ralphie.
He's got the result.
Now, what a solid pickup he turned out to be. He was also a Brownlow medalist.
They've broken the run of goals at the other end, but they need a run of their own now. It's been a great duel
that bench is really it was a very hard team to get into.
Briggs delivers it inside 50. Larkey is in the clear and marks uncontested.
To put the icing on the cake.
That is a great pickup. Pendlebury's, I reckon, who knows the way Pendlebury's been playing. I reckon his prime up until he's 96. And speaking of the 90s, well, 1998, North Melbourne won the minor premiership and the Crows finished 5th. The Crows were premiers, but fast forward 29 years later, the Kangaroos have won. They finished 5th themselves, and now they're the premiers. Barley Kerno seems like a very good 99 rated pickup.
By 37. Briggs gets his hand to it. Reed has some attention to deal with. Rankin, Dawson.
I think they did.
Great play.
I reckon,
That's a
I reckon it's probably looking like the 10-year rule similar to 1973 when they signed a lot of the older players and they won the premiership in 75.
They desperately need this.
Possibly. I reckon they must have. I think they also. I think the new owner must have invested in hotels as well.
Bends it around the body. That won't be a goal. It won't even be a behind. They're playing with purpose and poise. Briggs with a chance to run. That's a useful ball. The Roos are out of trouble. Sheasel has got loose. Ashcroft. They want ball, but they're not going to get it.
Yeah, I think that they kind of did.
Briggs has had his measure today. O'Sullivan, Ashcroft.
Yeah, he was one of Carey. He was amazing for North Melbourne back in the day.
We're watching a very good side here. What's he got on offer?
Shame he didn't win the Brownlow medal. 93, he was so close. 95, he got suspended.
Can he find the middle? That was never a
But he managed to trade out for a premiership in 96.
Slams into the behind post. They need a goal, but it's at the wrong end. Murray can keep it moving. Short pass looks good. That's well played. Neat little worm burner. Dawson in the clear. Miller, dangerous to leave on his own. Clever kick. He's hit up the lead. His field kicking is normally first rate. Manages to find a teammate. They've got a problem now. Easy decision. The tackle was above the shoulders. The Crows need to make inroads soon. Able to keep the ball for one of the few times today.
His goal was so far, but this would be a great way to get on the score sheet.
They could really do with a straight kick. He's up to the task, and he's pulled one back.
Better ball movement on that occasion allowed them to open up that opportunity in front of goal, and they've got full reward for it.
The Crows are just hanging in there, but they need to string some goals together. Briggs has got on top. Reed. O'Sullivan sets a task for the forwards. King has a vice-like grip.
They don't come easily.
Kicks it goal. Oh, don't tell me he's missed.
I reckon West Coast will be headed into the right direction.
Laird to bring it back in. Good work rate. And they're away. Fogarty gives it everything. Briggs went bang. Thilthorpe. He's been accosted. He's been run down like a wildebeest.
That's what happens when you find yourself in two minds.
Archer pushes into space and receives the footy. This is good ball movement. What's he got on offer?
I reckon Sam Allen. I reckon he's going to be a very good pickup for West Coast.
An accurate kick now.
It'll take his best, but we've seen him do it before.
He hasn't looked like missing today. Here's another. Oh, I put the moz on him.
That could have just about put it out of their reach.
Laird heads wide with the kick in. What can they muster from the back half? They're moving the footy well here. He's generally a good kick. Laird has found some space. This is more positive. Honours the lead. Another goal and they'll believe. O'Brien all alone in the centre square. The defence is disorganised. O'Sullivan, it fell into his arms. Rochelle, great hands there. Tidy ball. Cherry, that one was always his. Can he finish it off?
He'll expect to convert this.
Heads towards goal. It's a chance. No. It's found its way to the post.
I'll back him in to make amends for that if he gets a chance. Unusual to see him miss from there.
Can they finally clear it this time? Ryan working hard and being rewarded. Waiting for someone to come at him. The kick was centimetre perfect.
I remember I was at that game. I was at that game at Footy Park last year. Adelaide Oval last year. That was a bad game for the Eagles. He only got 100 points they lost by against the Crows.
The Crows are getting smashed in clearance and contested ball, and you are never going to win a game of footy with that
good for the
profile.
Crows.
They've been flat-footed and reactive, and it's put their defence under all sorts of pressure. It's time to really get to work and try to salvage something from this match.
Thanks for those observations, Gary, as we get back underway.
Yeah, it was. I was at that game in round 11 last year, and yeah, my team ended up winning. I'm sorry that my boys beat just 4 years in a row at Adelaide Oval. Just that we kind of felt a bit earlier.
Briggs, he's worth his weight in gold. Reed, foot race on the wing.
That sucked to hear. That was.
Briggs has been
Was that the one in Perth? Was that the one in Perth, or was that the one at Marvel?
Needs help. Unselfish play. He would have been well within his rights to kick for goal.
This should not be a problem.
He goes with the banana, and he's kicked it beautifully.
That was the one at Marvel in round 21.
Still found ways to impact the match.
I guess your dad was pretty happy about the result, but
need a miracle now.
sadly, I don't know how he's going to feel about Clayton Oliver playing for the Giants and Christian Petrarca now playing for the Gold Coast Suns. But in return, Melbourne did actually get a couple of young players like Giath and also Jack Steele. They also got Max Heath out of St Kilda and Mychek out of Collingwood. Yeah, they had to do it. And I think Harley Reid played good that game at Marvel. Yeah, dude, Melbourne had a bit of a problem that year. Yeah, they were very good 4 years ago when they were premiers in 2021. Since then, they've pretty much fell off. That's why I'm looking to do a rebuild in Melbourne next. Yeah, that was a massive problem. Why they acted after they won the grand final.
He's had little impact so far.
They should have just kept their head down and stayed composed after this. Then they would have probably. Yeah, and another thing that really hurt Melbourne was basically Luke Jackson leaving for Fremantle in 2022. Yeah, they were. They were acting like they were yelling at the Bulldogs above them in like a club meeting or something, like a club function or something like that, which was very disturbing.
A goal here will shut the door on them.
It'll take a good kick from there, and that one's not coming back.
He's clearly had a big impact on this match, but that impact could have been so much greater.
Yeah, they were all at the nightclub in Perth on that Monday, and those Melbourne players that time were yelling at the Western Bulldogs players when they were at the nightclub. This as well. which was basically the start of their downfall.
They'll be in business. Curtin has it within range.
Forwards dream of these shots.
Bulldogs ran out of roam around that time, and yeah, the Melbourne didn't even pay 10k after that premiership, which becomes another reason for their downfall. Oh man, they were doing a fair bit of side taking at that time, which caused all this to happen. And there was another factor that caused it all to happen was basically Scott Morrison being removed as Prime Minister in 2022. And also, I think a random player just drops. I think he must have dropped a bit of rebel around it. He must have dropped a bit of rebel that time towards the Dogs player.
We've seen that before. King
they got the floor above them that Monday and they were doing some naughty things. What were they thinking?
For the quarter.
Now, after all the drama that had happened around that time,
Knew the tackle was coming. We've got a whistle.
Yeah, I reckon Max Gorn will need to retire next year.
Briggs is teaching him a lesson. O'Sullivan.
It's amazing there's a ruckman that might not be a nice as a human, he might not be a nice person.
Some of their stoppage work today has been exceptional. It's part of the reason they are so far in front.
Briggs continues to have his way. Is that holding the ball?
I reckon it's time for a new ruckman at Melbourne.
Maybe a question of who will get the goal.
Maybe not bring back Luke Jackson. I reckon probably go someone fresh. Maybe I'm thinking maybe someone like Bailey Williams from West. I reckon
hasn't got hold of that one. It'll be a behind.
The way it's going, it probably won't be long until they get another opportunity.
Looking for a quick transition. That's well played.
Conservative kick.
Worrell can keep it moving. Useful hand pass. King threw himself at it.
I reckon they'll get a ruck in the draft.
That's a bit of a freebie. You can't afford to turn the ball over like that.
It's definitely worth drafting a new ruckman.
We didn't expect this today, and you wonder how much bigger the margin might get. O'Brien got his palm to him. Crouch. They've got the game won, but they're refusing to let up.
Anyway, back to the grand final. We only have 25.
O'Brien, he's been beaten, but he had a win there. O'Sullivan, they're a pleasure to watch. Reed, Laird, with the smother. Maybe that can lift them. Ashcroft. Good disciplined defence. Danger averted, frantic defence.
They've got an opportunity here to get the ball down the other end quickly.
Laird heads wide with the kick in. Ryan works hard to
I reckon he's
present.
good.
They need a goal, but it's at the wrong end. He's hit up the lead. Not a lot of positives today. Fogarty makes position.
There was another random player that left Melbourne around that time to join his old teammate Luke Jackson at Fremantle, and that is Judd McVee.
Ryan, Miller. They've worked it well. How's the entry?
He looked pretty good this first 2 years at Melbourne, and now
that's probably as good a passage of players.
he should be looking to have a pretty good at Fremantle.
Critical contest coming up. Taking no chances there.
Yeah, it was. I reckon Melbourne could be able to. Who knows? Melbourne could bring him back in a few years. Once he decides he's had enough of Fremantle.
He can make them pay.
Certainly is. He's probably one of the worst cultures in the league. That's why I'm going to be rebuilding them next. To, get rid of the bad eggs at Melbourne and start
He
again.
managed to find some space, and he was never going to have a problem converting from there.
Can they follow that goal up with another? The big men fly. Like Batman.
They certainly do. They got the right guys there now to fix it.
Too big, too strong,
I reckon Stephen King will be able to fix things at Melbourne.
It's a thumping kick, but it's off target, the minor score.
It's all over. Adelaide have won the grand final. About North Melbourne have won the grand final.
Have they kicked it goal today?
The Roos have been too good today and deserve the win. They'll have a few things to work on, but winning form is always good form. What stood out to you
Yeah, he
today,
did.
Huff?
Gary Lyon did.
But it never really felt like they were going
Gary
to
Lyon
lose
basically
today. Their stars stood
stepped
and
up for
led the way,
Melbourne
and
back in the
players played
day.
their role. It's a true
He was
team
a
performance.
pretty good player. He was a good player for Melbourne.
Okay then, I'm sure we'll be hearing plenty
Yeah, I
more in the
think
next
we all
couple
know
of
it's
days.
just a video
Thanks,
game
Huff.
with North Melbourne won the premiership. Anyways, thank you for watching. Next week, there he is, Gary Lyon. He was a great club man at Melbourne. Anyways, Adam L 6334. Next rebuild I'm doing after North Melbourne is Melbourne Football Club. To see if I can build a correct premiership team at Melbourne. Just like the good old season. Hope you have a good day, mate. And we'll keep in touch when the Melbourne rebuild happens.